It is the precipice of our destruction, and it is also the summit of our evolution. The ancient Babylonians and Sumerians wrote of strange beings coming down to the earth. The Mayans, the Israelis, Egyptians, Africans, Asians, Europeans, and peoples on every continent have written stories of strange, star-like beings coming down from the sky. The world is as it was 5,000 years ago. This is also our world today. The UFO phenomenon is no longer a phenomenon. It is no longer accompanied with disbelief, or even worse, with laughter. The preponderance of evidence is overwhelming, and the age-old question asking, "Do you believe in UFOs?" is now replaced with, "How can you not believe in them?" The evidence is unequivocal, a truth you cannot run from. In a day where there'll be no place to hide. UFOs are here. They are now. And this time, they are here to answer our greatest question that has dumbfounded every scientist and every ufologist in the world. We know they are here, and we know they have been here for thousands of years. But the burning question is, why are they here? This question has never been answered before, because none of us were here before, which is the reason we don't know why. The knowledge of why they are here is more important than believing they are here. Because believe it or not, we now have that answer, and it is an answer that will create great discomfort in you, and at the same time, it will completely free you of fear, doubt, and unbelief. In 2014, a strange alien message was discovered in nearly every UFO video in the world. A coded alien message interlaced within every frame of home video. A broadcast alien message, and yet it is also a human message. This method of contact requires our patience, our understanding, and most of all, our intelligence. They are speaking to us in the universal language, and the universal language is star constellations. Each video is actually a brilliant conversation between the alien and the human life. And once you are wise enough to make the connection, the evolution of human beings begins. If we slow down the frames and stop the frames, you can see what they're saying. They are talking to us. They are reaching out to us, and they are welcoming us into the heavens, into the cosmos, and into the places of creation where mankind is not allowed. For those of us who do not understand the universal language, you are in luck, because these beings are not just speaking to us, they are also teaching us. These UFO home videos are clearly our greatest wealth of knowledge, because when we see it, slow it down, and reverse it, these options open the cosmos, and it also opens our minds. Each of these UFO formations are establishing contact. This UFO formation is what looks like a man holding up his hands, but it is actually the star constellation called Cygnus. Notice how the star points are an exact match. This UFO formation, to the uninitiated, is merely a number of UFOs in a circle. Look again. It is in fact a precise match to the constellation 5-quadrant radiant constellation. Today they want to be seen, and they want each and every one of us to know they are here. They are here, and they are with us, and they are here for only one purpose and one purpose only: contact. These 3 UFOs are arrayed in a long triangle, and they mirror the Triangulum constellation. Its shape and geometry clearly reveals that these 2 symbols are linked together by design. This square and unusual UFO is actually the constellation Pegasus, the Great Square. However, the most ubiquitous UFO sign ever seen is this. This is the constellation of Orion's Belt. And no matter how many UFO videos you have ever seen, this is always the first thing they do, and it is also the first thing they say. These 3 UFO lights represent 3 stars, and this is actually an alien greeting. It is a greeting because nearly everyone on Earth knows what it means and where to find this constellation in space. Extraterrestrial beings are coming to this Earth on a daily basis and in record numbers. They are establishing contact in every part of our world. They are found all over the Earth in different forms and in different shapes. They show up as a single UFO, and then 2, and then 3, and then sometimes in incalculable numbers. They are now all over the world, and although we see them, photograph them, and record them, we still believe we need to send radio waves into space to find them. Call it stupidity or call it arrogance, but the fact is, we have been doing it all wrong. Nearly 40 years ago, we sent this not-so-sophisticated message into space. It is called the Golden Record. And in 1977, it accompanied the Voyager probe, which searches out alien life and our outer planets. We sent it with a phonographic record because we were sure that an intelligent being would understand how to play it. How many of us today actually have a phonograph record player? And now think, how many aliens would? A lost hope and a lost cause. But then again, maybe not. The acronym SETI stands for Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. We are constantly looking out into space, when all the time they are right here and right before our eyes. And more importantly, they are looking at us. They have been reaching out to us for more than 50 years. They are speaking to us in a very sophisticated and enlightened language, and for 50 years, none of us has cracked the code. None of us knows why they're here or what they want. And yet they are speaking to us every day. Star constellations are how you navigate the cosmos. It is how you cross the millions of light years of space. And star constellations alone is how you first communicate with an alien race. Many of us believe that our earthly view of our star constellations would look different to aliens approaching our Earth, and that our view of the starry sky is different from theirs, which would mean that this couldn't possibly be true. All who believe this have forgotten a basic, fundamental mathematical formula, because contrary to what you think, our star constellations look exactly the same from space as they do on Earth. The only difference is this: a star pattern from the view of Earth, and now a star pattern from a spacecraft approaching Earth. The only difference is that the pattern of stars is reversed, and this reversal, when displayed by the UFOs, is actually their way of showing us the direction from which they have come to our planet. For those of us who believe in this error of understanding, which says that the star patterns we see on Earth are completely different from what they see in space, these statements are not true, and unfortunately, not very intelligent. Simple trigonometry and geometry solves this problem by creating what is called triangulation. This is a process of measuring and determining a point and location and view by measuring its angles from 3 known points of reference on a map. This is what is called intelligent communication, and triangulation of Earth, spacecraft, and sky will produce an Earth view of all constellations. Unbelievably, what we are seeing in the UFO footage from around the world is in fact alien communication. And what we are actually seeing is called intelligent contact. Triangulation is the key, and they are using this formula, and they are speaking to us in the universal language, and the universal language is star constellations. Nearly 20 years ago, they came to us, and they came to us in a specific time when they knew we would all be looking to the skies. The Hale-Bopp comet was to make an appearance, and on that day, every American was looking. On this day, they knew that if they appeared, there would be many witnesses, and that there would be no doubt to their existence. These UFO beings have knowledge of our ways, our behaviors, and our knowledge. They knew that on this day, if they appeared, there would be so many witnesses that there would be no doubt as to their existence. On March 13, 1997, Phoenix, Arizona. It will go down in history as one of the most documented sightings ever seen. Thousands, over 10,000 witnesses. And they all said it appeared and appeared on a grand scale. And when it appeared above Earth, it began speaking to mankind. What we saw were lights and disappearing lights. What we didn't see was the communication. In this video, you will see the first thing they said. It is the constellation of Orion. It is a consistent theme throughout the world. Every UFO that appears, that is the first thing they say. And these 3 lights actually means greetings, children of Earth. Their appearance deliberately coincided with a starry sky event so that there would be no question as to the validity of their reality. To this day, it is the most talked about UFO sighting ever seen. But look closely at what is said. The first thing they did was to array themselves in a near-perfect sphere of 8 and 9 symmetrical lights, with a bright light far away from the others. These lights may seem to be nothing more than lights to the uninitiated, but what actually took place was supreme intelligence. The 9 and then 8 lights represents the 9 planets of our own solar system. They hold this formation for a number of seconds, and then the 9th light goes out, leaving only 8 remaining, and 1 bright light far away. The bright light that is apart from the other 8 represents our sun, and the 8 remaining lights also represent our solar system. This subtlety clearly reveals that they are aware of our enduring argument as to whether Pluto is actually a planet or not. So for many of us, there are 8 planets in our solar system, and for others, there are 9. This message clearly means, we know you. We know your planet, Earth. And we know your planets in your solar system, and also your disagreements about them. Then they return to the constellation of Orion, which means greetings. However, because this Orion is from Earth's view of the sky, the UFO does something else that is unmistakable. They reverse the configuration of the stars of Orion, which means this is the direction from which we have come. To all who see this, they are completely dumbfounded by what they're doing. What is more disturbing is the witness accounts of those who saw it up close and in person. Everyone who saw this craft got a very unique view of what was in the sky. They all said it was massive, and many ran into their homes and did something that was astounding. But those who did not have cameras, they got out a pen and paper and began to draw pictures of what they saw. And every drawing looked like this. A massive triangle with 1 light in each corner and 3 slightly off-center lights at the apex or tip of the triangle-shaped UFO. However, remember that everything a UFO does is for intelligence, and it is also to uplift our own intelligence. They appear to be here for the purpose of taking us to the next level of our evolution. Look again at the drawing of this UFO and notice 2 lights, 1 in each corner at the bottom of the UFO, and the 3 slightly off-center lights at the top. This UFO is sending us a message, because believe it or not, this message is a more perfect message than the first. And when you see its knowledge revealed, it is staggering. This UFO is actually telling us to look closer, because believe it or not, this drawing of the UFO and its formations of lights is not a UFO. It's actually the greater constellation of Orion. Notice how these lights correspond exactly to the constellation of Orion. And also notice how the 3 stars on the top are slightly off-center. Orion, children of men, is where we must go. It is where the journey of mankind begins, and it is ultimately where it all ends. This is a UFO video from Lubbock, Texas. And in this video, an intellectual and repeating message that is unmistakable. This is not the belt stars of Orion like the others, but instead, look closer. This is the greater Orion, the entire star constellation. This UFO message is so deliberate and so without doubt that only the slowest among us will be baffled. The reason Orion is so important is because of where it leads. Each formation of UFO lights are a form of communication. Watch. Did you understand it? Look again. This represents Triangulum constellation, and this is the constellation of Orion. These 2 are linked together for one reason. They are one, and they are holy knowledge that is found in the holiest place on earth. And these 3 represent supreme intelligence. and they are called the pyramids of Egypt. The reason they are here is the most humbling reason you will ever come to understand. When you understand it, you'll know that there is nothing we can do. The UFOs are here, and they display star constellations as their mode of communication. They chose star constellations because they answer every unbeliever and skeptic alike, because these stars are eternal, and they are also proof. The twinkling in the night sky opens the minds of every man, woman, and child. And we all, at one time or another, have looked into the eyes of the stars and asked, where do we come from? Why are we here? They are here, they are real, they are answering every single one of our questions. They are providing us with undeniable proof and also undeniable truth. In the end, you will find it is the proof we can accept. But the truth will be so hard and so heavy that scarcely not one of us will be able to bear it. This video capture is from a nighttime UFO sighting in Highland, Utah, 2012. And what is important about this nighttime UFO sighting is its color. UFO color is the major mode of speaking, as it can send a greater message than that of the light of stars. With colors, they're able to convey a message of not just star constellations, but also galaxies. In this photo is a UFO, and on the right is an actual satellite image of Andromeda Galaxy. The message is unequivocal, as these two photos are nearly identical. Star constellations are not the end game. They are actually the opening of the games. This is where we leap from the stars that surround our Earth to the unknown and the deep, dark places within the outer reaches of our galaxy. This is a UFO. This is Andromeda. Notice the color and also its orientation against the sky. It is a sophisticated and intellectual overture to human beings. And although we believe that they are reaching out to us from some unknown territory in space, their intimate knowledge of our world indicates that they already know us. These are UFOs. These are still photos of various galaxies and constellations. Notice, they are an exact match. They are not dancing lights in the sky. They are actually establishing contact. Galaxies, constellations, and twinkling stars are not the only things they use to communicate with us. They have another method of contact, and when you truly understand it, you will know exactly how ill-prepared we are to receive it. UFOs now have a new approach for stunning mankind into belief. This method is so powerful and so undeniable that no doubter has an excuse to explain it. Extraterrestrials do not rely on 3 or 4 vehicle formations anymore. And instead of sending 1, 2, or 3 UFOs, the aliens now send hundreds. We call this phenomena a swarm. And although it staggers the minds and baffles the intellect, its message to the wise is unmistakable. All who see these incalculable numbers of vehicles are completely mystified. However, when you look closer, you will see even more. These swarms of UFOs are always interlaced with streams and clumps of clouds. This is not by accident, and the clouds are on purpose, and they are necessary to convey one of their greatest messages. This message is not as small as a star or a galaxy. No, this message is made to convey the birth of something that is unknown to us, and it is also to goad us into leaving this earth. This UFO swarm is actually called a nebula, and it is also a star nursery. Its meaning and its purpose couldn't be clearer. They are beckoning us into the cosmos and to a place where it all began, a place where we were born. The hearts of human beings are full of trepidation, but you will find in the end, as fearful as we are of taking this step, the sadder we will all become when we realize we don't have a choice. If you are one who chooses disbelief because it is uncomfortable, then gather yourselves, because what comes next is very, very uncomfortable. November 7th, 2006, Chicago, Illinois, at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport on a Tuesday afternoon. Federal authorities received eyewitness accounts from airport employees, pilots on the grounds, and hundreds of witnesses who stated they saw a saucer-shaped disc, a UFO, hovering over gate C-17. Air traffic controllers, airport employees, and federal authorities all confirmed that this disc-shaped UFO event did in fact take place. Recorded FAA transmission and radar confirm a cylindrical, unidentified aircraft was found hovering above O'Hare's boarding gate C-17. This news was so powerful it was covered by every major news network organization in the world. According to witnesses, everyone who watched this event suddenly gasped in affright as the object shot straight up through the clouds. It ascended at such a high velocity that it left a clear blue hole within the cloud itself. This story has fascinated every UFO enthusiast in the world, and yet we as humanity have yet to make the connection. The connection begins here, and here, and here. These are stars, nebula, and galaxies. And to all of us, this is all they are. However, to our astronomers and scientists, they are something else. When UFOs appear above our Earth, they are well aware of each and every one of us who are filming them and photographing them. They are here to increase our knowledge of their presence. And when a UFO sits above gate C-17, they do it for a deliberate reason. This story has fascinated every UFO enthusiast in the world, and yet we as humanity have yet to make the connection. The connection actually begins here, and here, and here. These patterns in space are actually called NCs and NGCs. The formal name, New General Catalog, NGC, and also the more relaxed and shorter term is known as New Catalog of Stars, or NC. These letters are abbreviations for astronomical catalogs of stars, galaxies, and nebulae. UFO messages are consistently associated with the NC and NGC places in our view of space. Triangulum, Andromeda, Tree of Life or Perseus, Orion, and Cassiopeia are all cataloged galaxies as NC or NGC. Unbelievably, NGC or NC-17 is a constellation that is also found in our cosmos, and its association and meaning will send shivers through your spine. And NC-17 is the meaning of its appearance above C-17. The UFO sits above gate C-17 and bursts straight into the sky to signify leaving Earth and to go straight up through a hole, a wormhole. It sits above C-17 because above our skies it is known as New Catalog 17. Nevertheless, there is a reason why we have knowledge of Andromeda, Cassiopeia, Orion, and Perseus. In the world before our own, there is a story of a great flood, and this flood wiped out nearly every human inhabitant in the world. The UFO association C-17 to NC-17 is so frightening because NC-17 or NGC-17, this is the place of the water world destroyer. This destroyer kills the world by water. And this destroyer was also called by the ancient Greeks the Kraken. The Kraken is the destroyer that comes from the water and kills the entire world. Whether we believe in these tales or not, they clearly portend the end of days and the end of our days by a flood. NC-17 is also a place where two disc-shaped galaxies collided and destroyed each other. They then merged together to create something new. The symbolism is clear, and it all means that it is time for man to do something we must. Leave the earth. We haven't given it much notice, but the blue in our world is fading. In the last 40 years, we have lost nearly half of all wildlife, and we have lost 90% of our fish and marine life in the last 100 years. It is projected by the year 2048, nearly all fish and sea life will be completely eradicated. Our earth is dying, and we are killing it. Our earth is growing hotter and hotter, and the sea levels are rising higher and higher, and more rapidly than projected. And eventually, it will flood the earth again. Our greatest teachers and our greatest ancients are all gone, but their knowledge still lives. And in every part of the ancient world, there are writings of our end, and they're all associated with the red planet that we call Mars. Sumeria, Babylon, Egypt, and the ancient Greeks all hold tales of Mars. Mars is consistently associated with earth change, gods of war, and destruction. We can no longer believe that the ancients were somehow less than we are. Point of fact, they were as we are today, and even SETI is older than our wisdom. In Egypt, there was a pharaoh of great power, and he was different from every pharaoh who came before him, and his legacy still lives today. This hieroglyphic inscription sets him apart from all others and elevates him above many of us. Look closely. This is a helicopter. This is an airplane. And many believe this to be a UFO. What is more startling is the fact this pharaoh's name is now spoken by every UFO enthusiast in the world. This great pharaoh was named SETI. Technology and Mars was everywhere in the ancient world. But why was it so important? That is the saddest knowledge of all. This is Earth as it is today, vibrant and still beautiful. But if we continue on our current course, this is what will happen. Hotter, drier, death. And then we will have a new Mars, and every living thing on this planet will die. Our civilization has always been guided by extraterrestrial influence. And now that we have come to the precipice of our destruction, they are here to guide us. Guide us into the land beyond land, and to walk into the heavens and the cosmos. In order to save our earth, we must leave it. And we need as many as we can to start over again. They are contacting us in such a flagrant manner because we are running out of time. And believe it or not, they are actually here to help us. These subtle contact communications are opening dialogue and opening the eyes of mankind. They are paving the way for their coming to this earth. However, I warn you of something that is so horrible and so terrible that there are no words to say. And after it is said, there are no words that are worthy to speak. When they come, they will come in waves. They are here to guide us into the next world. Unfortunately, our brightest minds are not. They are here. Let us go to war. Let's fight them. This, believe it or not, would be the dumbest thing we could ever do as a species. We will mount our attack with our guns, planes, and our missiles. We will find in the end, the battle with them is not like it is in the movies. Believe it or not, we have no attack, and there is nothing we can do. Our technology of today is at its best 200 years of technological development. And we want to go to war with an alien army whose technology isn't 200 years old, but instead, we want to fight an army whose technology is more than 200 million years old. There is something else that we should also consider when going to war with these who come to our earth. Consider our understanding of the world and consider our place in it. We would go to war with a race of ancient beings who are not only more intelligent than us, but they also reside in dark matter. When we were young, we all read stories of ghosts, aliens, and myths of all sorts. Myths of ancient monsters and ghosts that walk through walls, and walk through buildings, and even walk in our bodies. However, we mature only to realize a myth and a ghost are just myths and ghosts. They don't even really exist unless you want them to. They're also just tales of wild-eyed children and dumb adults. Nevertheless, there is one thing in our universe that we don't truly understand, and it is called dark matter. It is a force stronger than anything we can understand. It has the ability to move our massive sun. It moves planets and even galaxies, and yet it is imperceptible to human beings. Consider a substance this powerful, a substance harder than iron, harder than rock, heavy as a planet, and it surrounds us every day, and we walk right through it, not even knowing it's there. These aliens have the ability to move in and out of dark matter. They are to us visible and then suddenly invisible. They master a technology and they create their ships using dark matter. A technology and an understanding that we cannot fathom. It is millions of years ahead of us in knowledge. And at the same time, when they come, we, in our supreme intelligence, would choose to go to war with them. Dark matter is harder and heavier than any solid structure we could ever imagine. And we literally breathe it. We pass through it every day, as though it's not even there. Children who are born of men, hear me. When we go to war, realize, down here, we are the ghosts. We are the myths. The ultimatum is given, and it is here. The first is triangular. The second is Orion, and both will lead us to Egypt. We are led to Egypt to face an uncomfortable truth, and that is that there is nothing we can do. The pyramid is a structure older than our world. They are monuments found all over our earth. But then again, they are also found in more ominous places. When you understand what the pyramid means, the feeling of ice will run through your veins. Your heart will nearly give out on you. Recently, NASA's Dawn spacecraft snapped this picture of Ceres, a dwarf planet on the outer reaches of our solar system. Upon this planet is a message that we will all understand, and the message is a pyramid. This same message is found on Mars. It too is clearly a pyramid. Even more astounding, another pyramid is found as close as our own moon, and it was photographed by Apollo astronauts in 1972. This message, however wonderful it may seem, is in fact a warning. They are here. They are opening dialogue with us. They are opening up the cosmos for our survival. Nevertheless, the one who tells you not to fight them is not the traitor. The one who tells you when they come we should fight, that is the traitor of man. The unmitigated truth of who we are and our place in the universe is found in each pyramid on each of these planets in our own solar system. The pyramid and the UFOs are connected, and what it represents connects every single one of us. The pyramid represents a colony, and every planet that has a pyramid at some point in history was colonized with alien life. The pyramid is a symbol of ownership, and it tells us the earth is not ours, it's theirs. The one thing that should not escape your intellect is the fact that every planet that has ever had a pyramid is completely wiped out, utterly destroyed, and devoid of all life, barren, dry, dead. Every planet, every moon, and every outpost that has a pyramid on it ends the same. It ends with complete extinction. Our world is the next planet to have pyramids erected on it. And when they come, how we respond and how we react will determine if we are the last planet to live. Our lives and our world doesn't have to end this way. We can change it.